Good
Um,
evening.
Good evening
Yeah.
to everybody. Thanks to
Good evening.
everyone who joined in early and those that are joining in now. Um, it's been a wonderful day for those that came to school today. You understand what I'm saying? So today was our shoe fest, and I think people that came in had a lot of fun. We're able to learn from other people's culture as well as show ours. Um, and it was wonderful. We had lots of appraisals from other people that came in. The chaplain of the SHU chaplaincy chapel was talking to me and he was like, "Oh, you guys just lit up the whole environment. Your performance was nice and everything." So thanks to everyone that came out today, all dressed up in their native or whatever you wore, and came out to join the dance while the music was going on. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. So straight to business. So today, this evening, we are holding our first, I think these are first of our major academic seminars since this year started, apart from the ones we did before January intake came to join us. And today promises to be very insightful. We'll be learning a lot. Lots of things are changing daily. Technology is changing daily, and it's good that we are aware of these things and we know how to succeed in our academic fair. Most of us are about to start our dissertation, apart from those that already started. But I know many of us are September intakes and January intakes, and a lot of September intakes. Your dissertation should start by April, including me. I'm also starting in April. So this is a very good time to actually know what it is, how to succeed in it, and those that have not submitted their assignments yet, this is also an avenue for you to learn. So today I have with me Engineer Edgar. Um, for those of us that don't know him, I'm just going to read a short biography of Engineer Edgar. Engineer Edgar is a PhD researcher at the University of Sheffield, United Kingdom. He's an expert in the field of artificial intelligence, machine and deep learning modeling, data analyst, and software and web designing. His areas of applications include engine systems, cybersecurity, open banking, medical diagnosis, communication, etc. There are so many. Edgar is in his last year of his 4 years PhD program in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. I think that's in the 2050, and at University of Sheffield, United Kingdom. University of Sheffield is our sister uni here in Sheffield. So it's a great pleasure. I've heard Engineer Edgar. The reason we really wanted to bring Engineer Edgar to this program is because I think most of us have heard him speak. Most of us in the committee and a few of us in the society has really heard him speak in events that are similar to this, and he has a lot to share. And the way he does it is very special in the fact that he breaks it down to the very least so you can actually understand. Nobody is coming to speak plenty grammar, so that you can actually understand this thing like bit by bit and how to go about it. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, okay. Good evening.
Thank you very much, sir. So in a few minutes, Engineer Edgar is going to take the floor. Please, if you have questions, you can put them on the chat, or you can just take note of them when we are done. When he's done speaking, we'll give times for questions and answers, and he'll give answers to those questions. And when he's done, we also have other things that we're going to talk about. So don't be in a hurry to just japa after the meeting. It's going to be short, straight to the point, no wasting time, because I know that people have a lot to do. So but open your minds to learning. I'm very sure we enjoyed the last one with Dr. Wolowo. So this time, open your mind to learning, open your mind to relearn, unlearn, and learn new things. It promises to be very insightful. Thank you so much. Engineer Edgar, you can have the floor now. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Good evening. Blessing and good evening, everyone that is connected and those that will join us later. Uh, you confirm you can hear me very well, right? Uh, Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah, you may need to make me a presenter so I can share my screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
trying to do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go to your settings. Yeah.
I'm trying to
That's
look
done.
for you. Wait.
That's done already. I think you have done that.
Okay.
Yeah. I just needed to confirm that you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, yeah. So we'll take it from here. Good evening, everyone. My name is Edgar Mondiale Yasele. Just like Blessing said, I'm a PhD student researcher. I'm in my final year, Energy 2050, Department of Mechanical Engineering, University of Sheffield. My major area of research is actually in energy system modeling, renewable energy system modeling, and I'm using artificial intelligence methods. That said, thank you for this opportunity to speak today. We're speaking on academic success seminar, excelling in coursework and dissertation. When she sent me that topic, I think I saw excelling in dissertation and coursework, but not by me. I decided to make it coursework and dissertation because you have to take your coursework first, finish, though I know some of you have them all in between, but I know the precedent is that you take your coursework first, then before your dissertation. I have about 15 slides today to go through. We'll just take them. If you don't mind, I'm starting. Just a brief of introduction. But then I have a question to start us with. What does academic success mean to you? I think that's the major question that we all need to answer. What does academic success mean to you? What does academic success mean to you? Is it just the accomplishment of the learning process, which you are already in by virtue of being in this in Sheffield Hallam University? Or is it just gaining subjects knowledge? You just want to major in data analysis, or you just want to major in religious studies, or is it just that you want? Or is it just to develop employable skills? Do you want to finish in studying the data analysis? Then you want to probably get a good job. That's just what's the reason why you want to succeed academically. I think answers to these three questions is what will set us in this part, because that will determine how far you can go in terms of succeeding in your coursework and in your dissertation. But then, why essay in coursework and dissertation? Is it just to progress? I'll just highlight some few benefits to progress technologically in this technologically demanding occupation in the future. If you check now the way the technology in the world is going, if you are not succeeding in whatever course you have decided to go into, it will be a big challenge ahead. It empowers our behavior and social interactions. That is one reason why everybody wants to succeed. That is one reason probably you that is studying public work wants to succeed. You want to be seen behaved in a well-mannerly form. You want to be able to interact socially. And it also helps to develop our reading, our writing, and our thinking skills. There is a thinking level that is expected of someone that has succeeded in his or her choosing area of pursuits. But then in the following slides, like I said, I have about 15 of them. We'll just talk about setting academic goals, talk about time management, we'll talk about academic study techniques, which is the core of this presentation. We'll talk about how you get back your research and writing skills, which is what you need to succeed in your coursework and your dissertation. We'll also look at critical writing. This is very, very important. Critical writing. This is what you will need in those assignments. Put up a report, put up a critical analysis of this journal, of that journal, and this is what you need for your dissertation. And of course, we'll take some questions and answer section. Now we'll begin with setting goals. Don't mind me, I'm not a motivational speaker, but I think these are very key to your academic success, to your coursework, and your dissertation. You should be able to set goals. You should be able to set goals because setting goals will make the direction of your learning clear to the student. For example, you just have 1 year to study in your master's, that might mean for PhD, mine is 4 years. You should be able to set both short-term goals, the goals you tend to achieve in the next 1 month, the next 2 months, and the goal you tend to achieve by the end of probably the year. And once those goals are in place, it gives you a clear direction of where you're going to. Then it will also increase the student's motivation. Remember, this is very practical to me. I will try as much as possible to be practical because I'm a student like you, studying for my PhD. This is very, very, very practical to me, that I discovered that each time probably I have a short-term goal, or between now and next week, I want to be able to do this modeling. Don't mind me, I'm using the word modeling because that's my major. I want to be able to do this modeling, and I want to be able to come out with this result and present it to my supervisor. By the time I set those goals, outline them, making sure that those goals are specific, making sure that those goals are measurable, making sure that those goals are attainable, and not just attainable, making sure that they are relevant to what I am studying, and not just that the goal is what? Time bound. That is where I will advise you to set what I call make smart goals. I'm sure everybody is aware of that word smart. It is being specific, being measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound in your objective. And that will help you to achieve focus. It will help you to increase your achievement level, and it will provide a clear path to your academic success, even in your coursework writing and your dissertation writing. Then let's go to another important aspect, which I think you will find very, very interesting: time management. Time management. I don't know how many of us are time managers here, good time managers here, but I'm so sure that you have heard of that word, time management. This is very, very key. The reason is that academic work can be hectic. If we're able to get the data of those people, maybe students, those that are studying or those that have graduated, to tell us how they struggle with time management, you will see how the effect it is. Most of us are a victim of this thing, including myself. Most times I find that managing time is very, very difficult, but I have to learn through it. A proper time management is the key. If you want to succeed in your coursework, if you want to succeed in your dissertation writing, because they are all time bound. Remember that they are all time bound. Proper time management will give the student ability to plan ahead, to prioritize, and other assignments and events. That word, the student ability to plan ahead. Because you have managed your time effectively, you have other time to plan ahead, to do other things. It will also keep the student organized. If I say a student that is organized, I'm saying a student that knows how to manage his or her time. And it will help to avoid procrastination. We all know what procrastination is. And a very good way to describe procrastination is that it is the thief of time. I will do it tomorrow. Oh no, I will do it next tomorrow. It just keeps stealing the time. But then, how do you manage time effectively? We talked about goals earlier. You have to set goals. You have to set goals. Not just setting goals, you have to make note of deadlines. Remember, part of that goals we are setting, which is what we talked about, smart goals, the TD is time bound. Since it is time bound, you have to be able to set deadlines. This is when I set that, okay, my assignment, you're asked to submit in 4 weeks time. Oh, next week I'll get the first part done. Next 2 weeks I'll get this done. By the 3rd week, I should be able to finish it. While the last week of the 4 weeks, then I just know that what is left is to go through the entire work. That's it. You set deadline for that work, and if you follow it, given that you have committed to time management, you will see success from that. Now you start with small tasks. This is one thing I will emphasize, please. If you discover that that's why you have short-term goals, long-term goals, and all, whatever work you are doing, whatever research you are doing, whatever assignment you are doing, they are all in the whole, hectic and large. So learn to put them bit by bit. Start with small tasks, break up large tasks. Then while you are doing that, you have your time to work, time to read, time to sleep, time to do other things. Then you also have to create time for breaks. And when you create time for breaks, use the breaks time wisely. For example, if maybe when you are in school, you're committed, you're a student, you're focused, your phone is switched off, and you're off social media, that's a good practice. But then when you get to maybe during break time, you can say, oh, okay, that's when you look at what is happening, or what if you have a message or call to reply to. That's, for me, a good time management. But then when you're back to work or reading, your phone is off and it ceases. you're off social media for that period. That's good time management, and that is using your break time wisely. Then leverage technology. Leverage technology. How many of us are heard of ChatGPT here? I don't mind if you unmute yourself and just answer. If you're heard of ChatGPT. Hello?
Yes, I have.
You've heard, okay. We'll talk that about that a bit. I think this is a new direction now for research. Myself, I'm using this, and if you give me the opportunity, but if I have the opportunity, I would like to talk about more about how this will benefit your coursework writing and the dissertation. Please, if I forget, remind me. Leverage technology. That is one way to manage time, and that is one good aspect that ChatGPT have brought to academics of research. They eliminate distractions, and please ask for help. So many of us are a victim of this. We want to do it on our own. Yes, but when you ask for help, someone that have gone through that part can tell you this is what to avoid, this is how to avoid this, and you discover that you get to that destination faster. But if you just say, oh, I will go through it, experience is the best teacher, yes. But I think that the experienced teacher can put a student that is not experienced through in any task that the student brings to him or her, and at the end discover that that student will complete the job faster than what that teacher did when that teacher was in that scenario. Let's go to the next slide. Here we'll just look at some study techniques. What I want to talk about here is just effective communication, which is very key to your coursework and dissertation. For example, academic success depends on effective communication skills, which I know most of us have heard of that before. Communication skills, this can be oral, this can be written. For example, what I'm doing right now, I'm communicating. This is oral communication. But when I take my pen and I'm writing, probably writing a thesis, writing a report, writing dissertation, whatever it is, that's what comes in there is written communication. But I will just focus on oral communication here, because the written communication aspect is ahead. We'll look at that later. Now, for oral communication, it will assist the students to articulate when and how the academic needs are not being met. You should be able to communicate to your instructors, to your tutors, to your lecturers. This is where you need help. This is how you need it. And this is why oral communication is very key. You should be able to, it is also able to assist the student to ask questions and get help. I said that before. Then effective communication skills can improve your teamwork and collaboration. This is very key for academic success. That is why sometimes you say some maybe assignment and all that you are giving, you are being told that, oh, maybe form a group, then they just want to see how you integrate among yourself, how you take advantage of the teamwork, and how you can collaborate. And they want to see how effective you are in communicating, both orally and written communication. Now, another good thing, benefit of it is that it can improve, one way to improve your communication skills is that a student can practice active listening. Active listening, that will help you to enhance your communication skills, because first you have to be able to understand what you are asked to do or how you are told to go about it before doing it. Ask questions to clarify information and use clear and concise language. Maybe I'll just chip this in. Most of you will be dealing with coursework. When you're dealing with coursework, you'll be dealing with assignment brief. I'm so sure you have seen that before. Your assignment brief, okay, this is what they want you to do. This is how they want you to make this presentation. This is what you must follow. This is where to get materials and all. Those assignment brief is very, very key. Now, you must be able to understand what you are asked to do there before you delve into the assignment itself. Before now, let me say, during my master's program also, I have been a victim of this. You just get, oh, there is an assignment. You discover that when you go far answering working on the assignment, that's when you discover that you were actually not asked to go that far. And that can be tiring. So, but what am I saying is the first step to success in your assignments, especially when you're doing your coursework, when you have to understand totally what you are being asked to do in the assignment brief. Let's look at some research and academic skills. I'll start with plagiarism tonight. This is very key to writing your coursework, making your reports, and your dissertation. I'm so sure this is the bulk of your dissertation, because the first thing when you're submitting your dissertation, you are submitting it to a plagiarism checker, Turnitin, on all other one that your school uses. I'm sure your school uses Turnitin. Then this is very key. This is what they want to see. So we'll go through what plagiarism is. The word plagiarism is derived from the Latin word plagiarius, meaning you are a kidnapper if you do that, or abductor. But I know you are not one. Well, that is what plagiarism means. I mean, whenever you commit that sin, you're committing academic kidnapping and you're committing academic abductor. But what is it? It is deliberately using someone else's language. Deliberately, mark that word, deliberately, intentionally. You picked it, you know that it's not your own, but you used it deliberately. Using someone's else's language deliberately, someone's ideas. You're okay, your supervisor asks you to go and get a topic, you just go online, you saw something beautiful, you took someone's idea, you came back to the supervisor, you goes, oh, this is good. Is it your original idea? You said yes, but you know that's not true. So whenever you do that, what you are committing is plagiarism. Then, or when you deliberately use someone's original material without acknowledging its source, there's no crime saying something online and probably trying to get an idea from it. No, there's no crime in that. But the crime is when you probably take it verbatim without acknowledging its source, it becomes plagiarism. When you fail to utilize quotation marks, because sometimes you may need to just take something as it is written in the literature and use it in your work. But when you don't put quotation mark saying that this is not my word, this is someone's work, I'm quoting it verbatim, then what you're committing is plagiarism. And if you give also incorrect information about the source of a quotation, for example, you picked a word verbatim, maybe you use a quotation mark, but you did not give the source of that quotation. What you are indirectly doing is a plagiarism. So if you present someone's ideas as your own, like I talked about, you gave the idea, you told your supervisor or your professor that this idea is beautiful, it is original, it is novel, it is mine, and you are presenting the idea as your own without, when you know that that idea already exists in another source, without referencing where you got it from, is plagiarism. When you copy so many works or ideas from a source that makes up the majority of your work, whether you give credit or not, what you are committing is plagiarism. But then, let's look at some types and penalty for plagiarism, because we need to know them so we can avoid them. Types of plagiarism, there are a lot of them, but I just picked this for probably explanation. The first one we'll call incremental plagiarism. That is when you keep adding just a little amount of plagiarized content. You go this way, you go to Google, it just takes more. You go to another source, maybe Binge, it takes more. You go to another paper, it takes more. Then you put them all together to form your own. That is incremental plagiarism. In the end, the plagiarism checker is able to analyze all those ones and know where you got all the source from. Then global plagiarism, when you plagiarize the entire text. This one is very, 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 very grievous, because you just plagiarize everything without even trying to make some changes to that. Then when also you plagiarize you copy your own previous work, or sometimes, especially for some of us that are in academics, you find out that you have to make some publication. Maybe you may have 2, 3, 4 publications out there. Then when you are writing another work, you feel like, oh, that work, you're trying to make reference to it. You tell yourself that, oh, that's my work, so there's no need to refer it. It originally came from me. There's no need to refer it. If you don't do that, if you do that without making reference to that work, you are committing what we call self-plagiarism. Then another powerful one is the patchwork plagiarism, when you copy and combine phrases. We do this a lot. We copy, you combine phrases, passages, ideas, etc. from different sources just to form a new text. What you're committing is patchwork plagiarism. But what are the penalties? Penalties are more, though these are important. Failing grade for the assignment. That's one thing that happens. Once they discover that you are asked, given a coursework, and you're asked to work on it, and they discover that maybe putting it into 2010, the plagiarism checker, they discover that it's high. The first thing that will happen is that you will have a fail grade for that assignment. That is why you say in your assignment brief, they'll make it clear that if you don't do this, or if they discover there's a high level of plagiarism, that you are totally going to fail that course. And if it's so grievous also, that it could get to the extent of expulsion from school. And if probably maybe you skate through it, you discover that you know what you did, you skate through it, you graduated and you have gone home with your certificate, there could be a revocation of your degree certificate. There could be criminal charges, and if you make an article out of that paper, there could be retraction of that article. Now let's look at how to avoid plagiarism. This is very, very, very key. So I want you to pay attention here. How do you avoid plagiarism? Proper referencing is key. Proper referencing is key. Utilize quotation marks. Talked about that earlier. Effective paraphrasing. We'll discuss this later. They use plagiarism checkers. They use a reference management software. We'll spend some time here because this is very key for your dissertation. This is very key for your coursework. Proper referencing. Then what is this? This is the acknowledgement given whenever we quote or paraphrase other authors. That is why you have both in-text referencing, a citation, and you have your reference list. We'll look at that later. The slide to come, we'll discuss a bit of that. Now, utilize quotation marks. Remember, I talked about copying someone's work verbatim. Whenever you do that, you should be able to enclose a direct quotation and show a repetition of someone's exact works. So once you utilize your quotation marks, then you are avoiding plagiarism. Effective paraphrasing. What is paraphrasing? This is just restatement in your own works of someone's ideas. We'll look at a bit of that, how to do that, steps of good paraphrasing. But when you are able to restate in your own words someone else's ideas, what you have done, you have effectively paraphrased, and once you do that, you have avoided plagiarism. Then use plagiarism checkers. Yes, we are not perfect. Maybe you did a bit of what we call patchwork plagiarism, take from here to from there to from there, then gathered everything together. Then, of course, before you start maybe editing and all, you can put it in plagiarism checkers. There are a lot of them out there. The use of advanced database software to scan for matches between your text and existing text. That is what they are built in. The database, for example, Tunitain, if you have ever gotten Tunitain reports, you discover that it shows you where this line of statement or word is coming from. Maybe it tells you this is coming from University of Derby, this is coming from University of Sheffield, this is coming from Sheffield Hallam University, just like that. Why? Because it is a database and they are all interconnected. What the software does is that it takes your word, run it through those databases and pick out where the source is coming from. And once it sums them together to discover that there's a bench, and give you a score. Then every school have their own benchmark. If it's very high, maybe I think my school uses between 10 and 20, depending on what you're dealing with, percent. Then some school takes it to 30, 40, depending on what the summation is. And once it's above that threshold, you discover that they could invite you for that offense. There are a lot of beautiful software out there. Grammarly is one. Everybody should have the Grammarly in his or her system. I use this myself. Grammarly is very key. Please note this down. If you don't have Grammarly, download Grammarly. You need it. It will help to correct those things before you make any. I'm talking about some of you that may want to publish. Before you make any submission, you will discover that the journal will first of all tell you that you must use Grammarly to make sure that you reduce the English language and other errors that have come on before they start doing their own personal checking. The Scribe is another one. Turnitin is one. That one is important. That one is very popular. The Plage Scan is one. Unicheck is one. There are so many. Then use a reference management software. This is very key. This is very key. It helps you to manage your references. It helps you to create bibliographies, citations, and all. Just to differentiate between references and bibliography. References are let me put that as like a list, maybe those work I made using my particular coursework or in my dissertation. Then at the end of the work, I just put a reference list saying that, okay, this guy I cited in my work, then these are the references to them. That means for every reference list, it must be in your cited in your work. But for bibliography composed of both those you cited and those probably you cited, you did not cite, but you made use of those material and you want them included. So that's how to differentiate between references and bibliography. Then citations are in text mostly. There's a slide that will discuss a bit of that. Then Examples of reference management software, Mendeley is one of them. Mendeley is very good. I have Mendeley myself, and it helps me a lot. I have thousands of downloads on that. One, it helps you to manage the downloads of the assignments or your dissertation. Just to chip in here, whenever you start your dissertation, one good thing to do is to have a database of the relevant state-of-the-art materials that you need for your work. For example, I'm writing on maybe energy system. So what I would do, which your school it provides those databases in your libraries and all. What I would do, go to your library online or wherever where you access your materials, then just put current state of the art materials or journals, articles, books in that feed. Maybe for example, in energy system, then you will have a lot of them. Download them. Once you download them, put them in a file, upload them to Mendeley. When you upload them to Mendeley, Mendeley is able to help you manage them. And when you start reading them, Mendeley is able to, it's so beautiful that it allows you to open maybe the PDF file on the book in there. And as you're reading them, making notes, you can make notes of important points. Remember, when you're reading, what you're looking at for, which we'll go into later, critical writing, critical analysis, those notes that are important, the author's argument, what's the author talking about, how is the author going about this, and all those are important notes that you can take note of where you're reading. And Mendeley allows you to mark those points, those notes and all in that maybe PDF paper, journal, article, or book. And in the end, it helps to put all those materials together for you to use. Then Zotero is another beautiful one. EndNote is another beautiful one. PaperPie and etc. So, but then my advice there is that check with your school, or I'm sure your school will have free subscription to all this. You can get them, download them, and make sure you have them. Then take away, make sure you have Grammarly installed in your system before you start your coursework, before you start writing your dissertation. Make sure you have Mendeley, where you have a database of the materials that you will read for your coursework or your dissertation. Now let's go to how to paraphrase. Remember talking about paraphrasing? It involves changing both the words and the sentence structure of the original text now, original idea, whatever it is, without changing the content. It's a very, 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 very important step you will need in your coursework. For example, you are asked to write on the artificial intelligence. You go online because they didn't born you with artificial intelligence. After all, this guy said, what's his name, if I can remember, who said, is it about Einstein, that said, if we're all standing, it's because we are standing in the shoulder of those that have gone ahead of us. So many people have done it. What you're just trying to do is to see what those people have done, then try to get your own idea of it, critically analyze it, and see if you can add anything new to it. That's what you're doing. So which simply means any topic, any text or whatever it is or feed you are in, there are people that are ahead of you. Admit that. So what you do is that you get those original work that have been done, then you learn how to paraphrase around it and have your own word without changing the contents, without changing the message of that particular text. So paraphrasing is the skill you possess when you're able to change both the words and the sentence structure. Remember, every sentence you see in the text have a structure. So if you're able to change those words, you're able to change the structure of the original without changing the content, you have successfully paraphrased. Then we must not forget also to cite the source after paraphrasing. They are twofold. Successful paraphrasing, and not just successful paraphrasing, you must be able to cite the source after paraphrasing. Then I have some good strategy for paraphrasing here. One, focus on one to three sentences of a text. Please, I just need you to follow me. Let's go through these steps together because it's very, very important if you want to understand properly how to paraphrase. You have, like I said, you can use Mendeley. You have 2, 3, 4, 5, some certain numbers of text, some articles that you have downloaded to do that coursework or to write your dissertation. Then you should be able to take 1 or 2, 3 of them. Just focus on the sentence. Maybe it's talking about, that sentence is talking about how to increase your body weight, or how to reduce fat in your body. Then focus on that sentence from those about 2, 3 authors, different authors. Try to understand what they are saying. That focus there is to read, to understand, to analyze, to think. what is this person's argument? Once you have done that, spend some time doing that, then go to step 2. Read the isolated section a few times. That is, you remember you had a focus on a particular section. You are looking at how to increase, how to reduce your body weight, body fats, and you have seen 2-3 persons, different authors, the way they put it, their own style, their own points of argument, and the evidence of support and all they have. Then now, the step 2, what you do is that you isolate that section a few times. That is, you just pick them out, try to think on it, isolate it from the entire text a few times, then go to step 3. Put the original text aside. That is, you just suspend your mind from the original text. Forget that you ever read anything there. Then go to step 4. Wait a couple of minutes. This is a good strategy, so we're looking at. Wait a couple of minutes. The reason is that, so give some time, maybe 5 minutes. What you could do in between there, maybe you just take a break, walk around, think on other things, and to be able to know if your mind will be able to capture it. Then go to step 5. Restate. Take your pen now, take your biro. You remember you put the original text aside. Your pen, your biro, you are now your own. Fix it. Restate the author's main idea in your own words. That is, what was author 1 trying to say concerning how to reduce body fats or body weight? What was author 2 trying to say? What is the opinion of author 3? Just restate those ones in your own words. Never mind if you forgot anything. You can go back when you are done with this procedure. But then try to state something in your own words. Do not try to use the words they use. Then go to step 6. Write down 2 or 3 possible restatements of the original text. Remember, in step 5, you have restated something in your own words. Then in step 6, write down 2 or 3 possible restatements of the original text. Then go to step 7. Compare your restatements with the isolated section from the original text. That is, you bring the isolated section from the original text, then compare it with your restatements you have, about 2-3 of them you have, and see what you have done so far. Then go to step 8, where you finalize it. Choose the restatement that most accurately communicates the author's ideas. Remember, your key focus is what's the idea of the author, but you just want to be able to restate it in your own words. So you have 2-3 restatements now. You are comparing it with the original author's statement or argument. Then compare and see which of your 3 restatements that best communicates that idea. Once you are able to do that, you have successfully paraphrased. There are a lot of software there. I know you know them, but we both know that not all of them are as original as it should be. So the best thing, and if you want to get this skill, is to learn the strategy. Let's go to the next powerful one, academic referencing. You will do this a lot when you are doing your coursework or when you are doing your dissertation. Academic referencing. What is referencing? Referencing is how you acknowledge the source of the information you use. While quoting, we talked about quotation earlier, or paraphrasing, we talked about paraphrasing earlier also, other authors. It is just the only way you acknowledge them. There's nothing else they're asking. Try to get idea from my work, paraphrase it in your own work, then just acknowledge me. It's not too much. It is often used interchangeably with citation. Citation is the only way to tell your readers that certain material in your work came from another source. Each citation should have a corresponding reference list. I talked about this before. Each citation that is in your coursework report or in your dissertation report, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, whatever many chapters you have in that dissertation, in your reference list, each citation you have there should be listed in your reference list. And the style to do that, we'll see it later. Then, and place at the end of your writing. Then if it's bibliography, that is if you have both the list of the reference that you cited and those also list that you use, but you do not cite them. If you have them all together, then it becomes a bibliography. It consists of cited and non-cited materials that you used. So we must cite whenever we borrow words or ideas that are not common knowledge. I used to define this common knowledge very well. For example, is a common knowledge that, how do I put it now? For now, it's a common knowledge that Joe Biden is the president of America, right? But how do I, no, I'll not use that. That knowledge is not going to say for me. Let's take this. It's a common knowledge that to reduce weight, you need to exercise, right? Then it is not common knowledge when I tell you that if I don't sleep often, I lose weight. That's not common knowledge. Because if I tell that to somebody, somebody is going to say, how come you don't sleep often and you lose weight? Or most those times I don't sleep, or maybe I just get 2-3 hours of sleep in a day. I find out that after some time I lose weight. Someone wants to wonder, how does it make you lose weight? And even if it looks true, where are the facts? Where is data supporting what you just said? That's not common knowledge. So you should be able to differentiate between common knowledge and those scenarios like that. This is very key, very key. Then you use quotations, you paraphrase, you make specific references to the work of another, or you use someone else's work in developing your ideas. Whenever you do that, you must reference them. How to cite depends on the type of work and the discipline. We'll look at that later, but the information here is that please check your instructor with your structure or your school. Different school have different style. Let's look at, we're still looking at academic referencing, but then let's look at in-test citation, and we'll look at some popular citation styles and all that. We'll take some time here. In-test citation, I talked about citation earlier. An in-test citation is a short acknowledgement you must include in your writing whenever you quote or use other people's information. There are some very popular ones, which I know by now. You should know them. There's the APA, which for me is one of the very popular one, the American Psychological Association. That's the meaning of APA. There's MLA. APA is common among psychology students, common among education students, common among business or economics students, nursing students, linguistic studies, and all. Then there's MLA, Modern Language Association. It's common among English students, literature students, foreign language, communication, religious studies. There is this Council of Science Editors, CSE. It's common among biology students, physics student, chemistry, geology. Then there's this Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, IEEE. It's common among engineering students like myself, computer science, information science. But most times, most powerful papers you see, they don't mind if you go with APA. So APA is very, very, very popular. Now, what are in-test citations? Why are we talking about this? You will need them when you are putting up your reports, when you are putting up your report for your coursework, and when you are doing your dissertation. The first day you start your dissertation is the first day you start building your references. That's why you need to use your reference management software. So I start keeping record of them for you. And just like I talked about Mendeley and all that, you can use in your work. Now, in-test citations are presented in 3 ways. There's what we call parenthetical, numerical, or note citation style. For example, you may have seen this in some some journal articles you've looked at. You discover that when there's insert a citation, you just say a square bracket with a number, maybe 1, 2, 3. But then when you click on them, it takes you back to your reference list. Now, parenthetical citations. These are details. These happen when you have details of the source in parentheses in the text, usually the author's last name and the publication date plus a page number if relevant. This is very common. This is common. I think some people use that, yeah, but the majority of people don't use that. Majority of people use numerical citations, where you include just a number in bracket. That's one I described earlier. You put a number in the square brackets or in the superscript, which correspond to an entry in your numbered reference list. That is another way to cite. Then the last one is the note citation, where you include a full citation in a footnote. You may have seen this before, that you discover that each page of the journal, the article, the book, you see just a footnote on an endnote, which is indicative in a text, and it's either in the superscript number or a symbol. Well, that form of citation is referred to as note citation. But we'll just look at some example. I want you to put attention here, please. This is where so many students may say it. You will need it in your coursework, you need it in your thesis writing. E.g., for parenthetical citation, let's just focus on parenthetical citation. APA, most times you get just one author, you get 2 authors, 3 authors, 4 authors, and 5 authors, even as much as maybe 10 authors. But then what I'm saying is that it's either just we are writing alone, or you're writing with someone, or you're writing with your team, or your supervisor, and also that depends on the number of authors. Now, let's say for just one author. If you're writing for just one author, APA style says that I will use Wega. Wega is this person's surname. Wega, the command 2021. That's APA style for just one author. Now, when they becomes two author, for example, Lee and Wega combined to write that article, you don't use the word and, you use ampersand for APA writing style, referencing style. Then when they are more than two, for APA, if there are more than two, maybe Lee, Wega, and myself, Edgar, three of us, you don't put the three of our name. No, you just put the first author, which means most times is the corresponding author. Then you use author, ET, then AL dot, comma 2021, you put the year. Then for Harvard, there's a difference. Notice for Harvard, the first author, if it's just one author, it is the same thing with APA. Whether 2021. If it's two authors, this is not the same thing. You discover that instead of Lee and Wega, the and there is the common and, AND, not the ampersand. So that's the difference between APA and Harvard style of referencing. Then command 2021. Then if there are three authors, there is also a difference between Harvard and APA. In APA, three author or more, you use author. But in Harvard, three author, you put their three surname, Lee, Wega, and Chi, 2021. It is at the fourth author that it becomes, fourth author and above becomes author for Harvard referencing style. For Chicago, Wega, 2021. For Chicago, for first author. Then for second author, it is Lee and Wega 2021. You discover that there's no command after the surname. And for the third author, you have Lee, Wega, and Chi. Then there's command, Lee, command, Wega, command, and Chi 20. After Chi, there is no command before the year, which simply means there is no command before the year for Chicago. That's a big difference from Harvard and APA. Then for four author, you just refer that it's just Wega, author. There is author, then full stop. No command after the full stop, like you same with Harvard and APA. That's the difference there. Note that difference in that referencing style. Then MLA, which is the Modern Language Association, is quite different from the three of them. For example, in MLA, for first one author, you use both their surname and their name, John Dave. Then for two, you have what they call, for three, you have John, Dave, and Vasmate. Then for more than the three author, you have John, Dave, et al. There is no year. Add to that. That is MLA. So this, you should be able to understand the difference among these four style of referencing. We just picked this one because these are the important ones. And like I said, APA is very popular and most commonly accepted. So if you can focus your mind on how to use APA perfectly, that will be good for your coursework and your dissertation. Now let's look at critical writing. This is another aspect. I've had course to assist a student in this aspect. Why? Because they come, okay, I failed this. I was asked to critically analyze this, evaluate this. How do I actually go through this? You will need this skill a lot. You will need this skill. In your coursework, most times you'll be asked to critically evaluate. That word is very powerful. Then you will need it in your dissertation, because if you have not critically evaluated so many papers, you can't come out with anything original in your dissertation. It's all going to be plagiarizing content. So that is why it is very, very important. Then what is critical writing? Critical writing is carefully and thoughtfully looking at a particular topic or argument, and then evaluate and assess its strengths, its weaknesses, its advantages, its disadvantages, etc. The pros, the cons, anything you can identify. But then you must be able to spend time to carefully look at that and thoughtfully look at that. Not looking at that is reading it, understanding it, dusting it front and back, getting a concept, the arguments of the author, what the author is trying to say, everything in a whole. Then once you are able to get that, you will now be able to evaluate it. That is where the critical writing comes in. Then when you are evaluating it, you are assessing its strengths, its weaknesses, the advantages, the disadvantages, the pros, the cons, where you think this is wrong, where you think that is wrong. It is not being overly negative or finding fault. No, it is not. It is not. It is not that, oh, you pick one paper, you pick this paper, you just try to look for where the person found fault. No, it is critically and constructively saying that if this is this, according to this author's argument, and this author have said this about this, then I'm of the opinion that it should be something like this. Now, let's look at what critical writing is and how to go about that. You should be able to get a very broad understanding of the topic to critically assess. Very, very broad understanding of the topic. That is very, very key. Very, very key. Broad understanding of the topic to critically assess. For example, I had a case of someone who had this issue in critical writing. And when she came to meet me, the first thing I asked her was, how many papers or journals or books did you read concerning this topic? There were few. But then, if you really want to critically well analyze any topic, you must have a broad understanding of it. Okay, if you don't know about how to maybe, what do I use now? Okay, fine. If you don't know how to speak Japanese, you can speak it. You have to learn how to speak it before you can use it. That is just it. Then if you don't know how to drive, you can drive. Then if you don't know, even if you know how to drive, you don't know more about how the engine works, the automation in there and all, you may not be able to say anything more about it. You can only say something about something when you have an in-depth knowledge of what that thing is. So when it comes to critical writing or critical analysis, what they are trying to tell you is that go and find everything about this particular topic. That is the other way to communicate it. Go and find it, because they know that for them to have asked you to go and critically analyze a piece or a topic, it is telling you to go and get everything, every knowledge that is therein concerning this topic. Have the knowledge of it, then now tell us what you think about it. That is the layman way to define that. Now, why you do that? That is when you are on the reading, you are gathering information about the topic that you want to assess. While you are doing that, you take notes. That's where you need Mendeley. That's where you need Zotero and all those powerful software. Because as you are reading, maybe as you are doing it on your system or your laptop or wherever you are doing it from, or whatever system you are using, you can be able to make notes. Maybe just take your mouse and mark out some parts. As you are taking that note, it tells you, it gives you an icon that allows you to add notes. You add notes. It takes a database of those notes you are making, and at the end is able to present them to you. Then you take notes on the third line. You take notes on the pros, the cons, the arguments, the advantage, the strengths, the weakness, the point of all those important things. Then when you're done with that, identify the main argument of the author. This is very key. What is author A saying about how to lose weight? What is author B saying about how to gain weight? What is author saying about author C saying about it? What is this person's view of it? These are different arguments. Now, when you are able to identify those arguments, you are moving forward positively. Then you think about the evidence and the examples and support for this argument. For example, if someone says that not sleeping too much, or not sleeping 1 hour, 2 hours every day, after some time the person found out that he lost weight, then there should be evidence to that. What is the evidence? The evidence must be factual, must be facts. There must be data involved. So think about the evidence attached to arguments the author have. Think about the examples and support the author have for that argument. Because it is not just, it's very simple to say, oh, this is what happened to me, then where's the facts? Now, once you have done that successfully, go to the next step, evaluate the author's argument critically. Critically, that's where it starts, by considering how strong it is. How strong is the fact? He has an argument. He probably was able to skate through some evidence or examples to support the argument, which is why that piece is proved to be out there. Then you now have to evaluate the argument critically by considering how strong is it, the strength in it. Is it really strong? If it's strong, you can put it in the scale of 100. Is it 70% strong? Is it 100% strong? Is it just 10%? Then, if it is supported by evidence, that's another thing you have to find out. Does it have evidence? Is it fact-based? Do I have data don't lie, they say. Do I have data to back this up? Then, is there any weaknesses? Remember, if I say, I just talked about putting it in the scale of 100, then which means if it's not 100%, if it's 100%, there's no weakness. That's a perfect system, and I'm not sure that exists. Then, if it's 70%, that means 30%. If it's 70% strong, that means 30% is weakness. So you can always identify weaknesses and strengths in this write-up. So once you're able to do that, go to the next step, analyze the author's language style. This is very key to see if the author is trying to be persuasive. You know, sometimes people are very good in the use of rhetorics. Some other are manipulative. They just want to manipulate the audience to make you believe what they are saying. Then others are very good at being able to persuade you following the facts they have to make you get to their point of argument. Then you have to know that language style to know if that author is manipulating the audience. If it's manipulating the audience, that's without a real evidence-based facts, then that's on the negative side. That should be a point you should note. Then go to the next step. When you have done that, you formulate your own opinion. This is when you start writing. You take your pen, you take your biro. It's time to critically analyze these journals. Maybe they are 3, maybe they are 4, maybe they are 10, they are 100. You're asked to critically analyze them because they are authors of different opinions, different arguments and all. Then when you're about doing that, you start by stating in your own opinion now, you state if you agree with what author A said about losing body weight, what author B said about it. If you agree, you state the reason. If you disagree, you state the reason. And all whatever points, the decision choice you are making, you make sure that there's a reason back with it. And not just that, it has to be evidence-based reason. Then you write a clear and concise analysis of the topic, including your own analysis of the author's argument, the way you see the author's argument, because you have seen it from different points of view. So you can now critically say, this is the way I see it because because of this fact that is there, because of this weakness I saw in his point, because of this strength I saw in his point. And because of his language style, he was trying to persuade people with a fact that was not probably 100% true, or it was manipulative because these things actually, he said this, but we don't take it as this because of this. Just like that, you're stating your own opinion as you are doing this, and you are backing it up with evidence-based arguments. Remember, critical analysis is not about being overly negative or finding faults. In conclusion, because I think I'll spend some time, please always make sure to read and understand the assignment brief before starting the assignment. This is very, very key. This is very, very key. I thought to include this in my conclusion. This is very, very key. You must make sure to read and understand the assignment brief before you start the assignment. Then please pay attention to your spiritual and physical readiness. This is key, self-care. You must pay attention to your spiritual needs, your physical needs, your emotional needs, your psychological needs, and prioritize rest and sleep. Eat healthy food, engage in physical activity, just to make sure your body is okay and fit for you to succeed. Question and answer sections. This session, I wouldn't mind if you come up with maybe let's talk about writing your dissertation. I don't think it will. I think what you needed is the foundation I just gone through. Maybe writing your dissertation. I know you have questions about that. You can raise it here. I will be glad to answer that. I purposely didn't put it here. I just wanted you to raise the question so that I can better give you what you need. But the scale and all the writing scale, the research scale is what we just went through this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate. I guess many of us have learned one or two things, and the use of some apps that we didn't know before now. So thank you so much for that. Does anybody have any question? You can put your questions on the chat, or you can raise your hand if you have questions. For me, I have a question. My question is, okay, we have someone. Me, I have a question. So if you're starting your dissertation, for example,
Yeah.
some people struggle to actually find the topics that you want to treat.
Yeah.
So you go online, you search, oh, topics in international business, for example, that has to
Yeah.
do with culture. Let's say you're writing on
Yeah.
culture, so you go and Google topics on international business that has to do with culture. But some of
Yeah.
us don't really know like the style of, I don't know how to explain it. You know that the dissertation is 15,000 words. It has chapter one,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5. But some of us don't really know the style of really writing the dissertation. So we
The
don't
format.
know, like, yeah, exactly, like a format. So sometimes we check online and we're not seeing anything, or someone
Yeah.
said, okay, you have to go online and check for topics that people have written on, and they say, oh, do this on further studies. So when you want to like write a dissertation, you can pick the points that they've written about for you to go like do your dissertation on, because they've written in there that, oh, for further studies, do this.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
of us don't even know where to get those things from. So like, where do we get those like
There's information
journals
from.
and yeah.
Yeah. I think that's where I'll start first. I'll answer you this way. Now, I remember when I talked about managing your time effectively, I talked about leveraging technology. And I asked a question about how many of you know or have heard about ChatGPT. ChatGPT has been a very good source in that direction. For example, you just talked about topics in international business. If you ask ChatGPT, give me topics in international business, it will give you wonderful, fantastic topic. I discovered that ability of it. I use it a lot. I can tell you a lot about it. I use it both coding, my Python coding, MATLAB coding, or coding I don't. I use ChatGPT a lot. And why are we using it? What I would have spent maybe 1 hour to do, you can get it in 1 minute from ChatGPT. What you just need is that the idea is what it gives you. Just tell ChatGPT, give me a template of, give me a topic, trendy topic, state of the art. Learn to use that word, state of the art, because that's why you're a student. You have to do something new and novel. State of the art topics in international business management. ChatGPT will give you a list of them. Then just tell ChatGPT, you look at all of them. Anyone you admire, pick up them and say, in this one you listed, then give me a template of a dissertation in this feed. ChatGPT will give you a template of it, and that template can guide you. What you just need to do is get that template out, then that can guide you. That's one way leveraging technology. But before now, this is a good way to do that. Remember, I talked about having a database of your writing. Before your supervisor actually asks you to go and get a topic, or before probably maybe they give you a topic, they want to know your area of strength, your area of interest, which I believe everybody has an area of interest. One thing you should look out for when you are in school, probably maybe those your days, or you're taking courses, and or is where your area of interest is. In short, before you decided to say, I want to take a course, a master's degree in international business and management, you have an interest. So that should guide you. That's why it's master's level. Undergraduate, we do everything. But at master's level, you focus it, you narrow it down. So that your area of interest, what you do is get a database of journals, articles, world class on that feed. Read a bit of them. As you are reading, go to the abstracts and where they have the recommendation. Recommendation is always at the end of after your conclusion, your recommendation. Now, where they have that recommendation, you will see where they tell you that remember your conclusion, that conclusion recommendation. You have summarized, you have said what you did, you have said your findings, and you have said your methodology. You give us your findings. Then from there, whoever is reading knows what has been done. Then you now discover that the recommendation the author is present is that in the future we tend to do this. That can be a very good way to start. Why? Because you can decide to look at what he recommended, then look at what he has done, look at what he recommended, and see how to inculcate that he recommended into what he has done. And once you're able to do that, I'm sure for a master degree, they will give you your certificate. That's one way to look at it too. But then the most important way is that you must build your knowledge base. If you build your knowledge base on your area of focus, and with your knowledge base, ideas will fly. The ideas are what you put together to form your novel area of study. And those works are the works that are exceptional. Those works are, it's very easy to go to Google or go to ChatGPT to say, give me this. But then these ones can give you an idea, a roadmap. But what will make your work exceptional, it is you building a database of state-of-the-art research in that field by reading and understanding what is going on in that field. That is very key. You can't jump that. You must know what is going on in that field. If you know what is going on in that field, it is in that knowledge of what is going on in that field, you start putting A together, B together from different articles and journals, your books you are reading, then that is how you form your own area of study. What makes it novel? I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so yeah, there's one other question I asked. Like, so can we like have access to like dissertations, like do you get like a
Yes.
solid format that we can actually use to like construct ours and say, oh, this is what I'm
Yeah.
supposed to do at this stage?
Yeah. That's why your school should have that link. I don't know about the link to your school, but my school has, every university has it. They have a database of, not just every university, even online, without going to your school database. They are online. There's a database of dissertation that is submitted, I think, across the whole world. So in your feed, you can just choose your feed. It will give you a template, what has been done. Whether you said 50,000 words, not all departments are 50,000 words. I think some are 8,000, some take 10,000, 12,000, depending on what you're doing. So, but however, those dissertation, there is templates of it online that you just can pick and look at the template of how they went through. Okay, they did abstract, you saw introduction, after introduction, you saw literature review. Some people will look at literature review, some people also look at related theory. Then after that, you see materials and methods that they use. Then after that, you see where they have results and discussion. You see where they have conclusion, recommendation. Others will include limitation to it, but others don't. Then you have your reference list, you have your appendix, where you have your source code, if you use anything as source code and all. But those templates and how to go about it, the writing style, and all in that feed, you can see it online. You can see it online, and you can call it online if you want to go by that way. Just call it online. They write out the template, write out the important points and structure that they use in that thesis. But one thing you must note is this. Every topic you have, if you agree with the topic, every topic, for example, if I say how to, no, I just talked about energy system modeling using artificial intelligence methods, energy system modeling using artificial intelligence methods. That topic on its own is encompassing. How? There is a word energy. Energy is a broad field. There is another word modeling. Modeling is a broad field. Then there's another word system. System is a broad field. Then there's another word, artificial intelligence. That's another broad field. So these are different fields coming together to form a topic. So that is why when you have a topic, you discover that each of those words are powerful and they can actually start forming the basis of your writing. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, so
Oh.
Oladipopo, please, you can go ahead with your question. Oladipopo, if you're on the call. Rashid, you can go ahead with your question. I can't hear Oladipopo speaking.
Maybe he needs to unmute himself.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
My question is, we need to hear something like obsolete data, but in your own opinion, like what year? If, for example, I'm writing on my dissertation now, then I saw something interesting about what I'm writing, but the methodology and the data I the sorts of info is around reading it. 2001.
I don't know. Blessing, please, if you heard him very well, why don't you can just rephrase it? Let me get it. I didn't get him so much. I think the background noise was much.
Yeah, I think his network is breaking, but I think he was talking about something about obsolete paper. So from what year
Oh, okay. Yeah. Consider the I used one word, state of the art, current research methods. That is very key. Remember, for example, if I used to know of a professor, if you present a reference list and he sees anything 10 years ago, it will tell you that you can't use that paper. But there's no standard as per se, but I'll just tell you one truth. We're in 2023. Any paper that is 2019, 2018, don't go there. If at all, paper you should look at from should be 2-3 years back. Research is fast growing, given the space of technology, the advances in technology and all. So research is fast going. If you are looking for paper, the best thing I can tell you, just start from 2020 now, because we're in 2023. That's 3 years ago. Just start for 2023. But then, thank God you are in a school. We're not in a school where we're coming from, most of us coming from Nigeria. We're in a school in the Western world. They have a database, a current database. So why even go to 2022? I'm working presently on a journal, a journal paper I want to submit to one of the big journals in the world. The minimal paper I'm looking at is the one that was done 2022. So which simply means I'm working in only 2022 and 2023. The reason is this: if it's not current, before you come out with your own current paper, somebody else has brought it out. So imagine you are reading 2018, 2019, 2015 paper. That was what technology was then. That was what research method was then. So now, as research methods are advancing, somebody in 2023 have used that recent and state-of-the-art research method. You can't compare your work with that person's own. So for me, though I know there is no fast and hard and fast rule about it, you can ask your supervisor which one they would prefer. But in my opinion, there is no need in this 2023 going beyond anything that is 2020.
Okay, so 3 years max is okay.
For me, and I think that's okay, so that you don't lose track of the recent methodology that is being used in that field.
Okay. Jimo, is that okay? Rashid, Mr. Rashid, Jimo.
Okay. Even while reading, some of us, maybe it depends on the area we are looking at. Because in our literature review, and what we use in literature, we have on our about our topics. But narrowing it down to in the 20%, you don't really get enough papers to review on that.
Blessing, please stay because of the nice background. As we get him where we just.
Okay, I think his network is shaky. So what he's saying is that sometimes your research, your literature review, they don't have like recent recent research on that. So sometimes you want to write about, let's say you're writing about a topic, but the journals and the articles you're getting are not from recent years, they're from past years. Rashid, am I right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, you're right. Yes.
So what do you do about that?
Yeah, Rashid, the first advice I'll give is that if that topic came from your supervisor, ask your supervisor to first of all give you his own material. We'll start from there. Then if you discover that his material is way back, maybe later than 3 years, 4 years, 5 years back, then I will advise you, there is no feed that does not have current advances. There is no feed that does not have. You just need to search more, Rashid. You need to search more. There is no feed. There is, I used the one word before, that there is nothing actually new that we are doing. We are just trying to put everything that have been done together, then add our own opinion to it and make it look new. Everything has been done, really. But then, how does it advance? Somebody pick them from all angle, puts them together. Then because of you have been able to, you have read in depth, you are able to critically analyze it, you can now know the weaknesses that was in that methodology. That weakness is what you advance. So there is no feed that does not have advances. So what you need to do, Rashid, is to really search web. Maybe you are using Google. If you are using Google, you can use Google Scholar to search. Just go to Google Scholar. If you go to Google Scholar can allow you to prioritize what you want. You can put Google Scholar, you put the range between maybe 2020 to 2023. You put it, you select maybe just journal articles. So you see the current happenings there. Most times they put it in journal articles. Then you select maybe You just in your feed, you know how to streamline it. When you streamline it, it will give you something only in that gap. In that space, you should be able to start getting recent papers. Then if you're not using Google Scholar, maybe you're using your school library. If you're using your school library, if you need to probably ask how to get recent things, you can ask them. Remember I said something about ask for help. It will help you to manage your time. So please ask for help. Just I'm sure your leader, Blessing, should have probably told you people how to ask and where to ask for help. Ask for help. They will help you. I know people in your library session. I will be glad to do that to you. They will help you look out for they will help you themselves. Go online, look out for what man. They'll ask you which topic, which feed are you, what topic are you looking out for. Then select the paper and give it to you. And in that case, just make sure you have download of them, a lot of them. Then download Mendeley, put it in your system, put all those database of paper in Mendeley, and Mendeley will help you as you are reading through them.
Okay. Mr. Rashid Juma, is that okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Olo, can you talk now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you can.
Is it better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can hear you.
So my question, thank you, sir, for your time. So
You're welcome.
Is, when you're actually talking about reading different journals, my major challenge is taking notes with them and while having to read this journal. I don't know if they can actually advise on a tool that is more flexible to use when reading some of these downloaded journals, as in trying to take some important points.
Yeah, which tool do you say you're using, Mendeley?
Then when trying to do your critical writing, if you can just
is it Mendeley you're using?
But no, I'm not using Mendeley. I'm using RefWork.
Oh, okay, RefWork. Okay, I'm not sure I'm so used to that, but I'm so sure Mendeley, for example, if you have your PDF, Mendeley can allow you to highlight the notes you are taking. Once you just highlight it gives you an option of add notes. Then once you click it keeps it for you. So when you are done, you can export that note you have gotten from it. And I remember then, before I got back home in Nigeria, you know what I used to do? I used to use biro and paper. That's if I'm reading any paper, I just take a biro, I have my pen, I have my paper, I'll start putting the notes down. But it has gone, technology has gone further than that. With this powerful software like Mendeley, it allows you, those things that probably I would have used my pen and to start writing on a paper, you just use your mouse to highlight it. When you highlight it, then it gives you an option. You right click the highlights, it gives you an option of add notes. Click add notes, it goes to the database. When you are done, it will download all of them for you. So you may want to check out for Mendeley. I'm sure your school have, my school, University of Sheffield, have that in the software packages for us. So your school have that too. Ask, or you could check your school, download it. It's one of the best in the world anyway.
Yeah. Then my question is, as with citation, as regards citation.
Blessing, please, it's breaking. If you get him, you just let me know.
If I want to know the proper way, hello. Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. It's breaking, but Blessing, please, if you get him, you just repeat what he said, please.
Okay, I was just talking about. Citation.
Okay.
Putting so word for word.
Citation, word for word. I didn't get. Blessing, did you get him very well? Please.
Can you repeat the question again? I didn't get it too.
Actually putting in your write-up, what's the proper way? Rather than using
Okay, Ola, do you know, I think the best thing to do is to put it in chat because you're really breaking.
Yeah.
Just put it on
Yeah,
the
just
chat. It's easy for us to
I
read out.
think what he's trying to say is that instead of rephrasing the word from the journal, you know, you can pick up the words word for word. That's when you're supposed to be double quoting. I think that is the normal reference when you are using word to word without rephrasing it. So he's asking for the implication of it. I think that
word
is what
for
is
word.
right. Yeah.
Word for word without rephrasing it.
Yes.
That's
you know when you are
plagiarism.
using,
Just talk about.
you know, you have to double quote. You have to give it double quotes.
Okay, you have to
understand?
quote it.
Yeah, yes.
But you can't quote everything. I think quotation is on. For example, you probably the bulk of your content are all quotation. It doesn't really make sense, does it? Remember, I emphasized something on common knowledge, and I try to differentiate it when I talk about common knowledge. If you see a piece, a journal, or a dissertation, any word that is not probably cited, or you're not sending quotation mark, is assumed to be common knowledge in that field. Every other word, if you got the idea by paraphrasing someone's work, you'll see a citation. Then if you got, probably you're quoting it verbatim, picking it from the literature, just the same verbatim, you see a quotation. Then of course you see it will be part of what you're citing and referencing. But then where I'm going to is that imagine now a book or a work where you see everything is just all quotation. You can't just survive with no quotation. You have to paraphrase. You have to be able to paraphrase. It's try to make even your point of argument and your writing flow properly.
Okay, so thank you. So someone on the chat is saying, please, can you talk more on the use of apps again? Not clear. The apps you talked about, yeah.
Okay. On that apps, I will emphasize more first Grammarly. Get Grammarly. Grammarly will help you to check your English language, the agreement with verbs and all, your structure. Grammarly is very, very key. Very, very key. That's the first thing you should download in your system. Then get Mendeley. That will help you to be able to read. How do I call it now? Read a lot of papers as you download them. Yeah, Grammarly, that's correct. Okay, yes, Blessing, thank you for that. Then get Mendeley is good, a reference management software. Of course, you don't need Tunitin. I think your school allows you to submit in there. Then which other one again? Learn to use Google Scholar. Google Scholar to another powerful one. Google Scholar can also help you in reference management. Then Mendeley also, remember, as you are reading this paper, Mendeley is able to keep because it's already in your database and you're using them. Mendeley most times work with not just most time, all the time work with your Word documents that you're using in your Microsoft Word. Then such that when you are done writing, you can import all the references you use. It just bring the reference list for you. So it helps to manage your reference list properly. Then there are other apps, but these three ones I just talked about are key. Then I'll add another one. Please go to OpenAI, register to use ChatGPT. It will help you to manage your time, especially for master study. You have just maybe 1 year, 1.5 years, or 2 years for your study. You don't have all the time to make mistakes so much. You just have that limited time you have. You need to manage it effectively. ChatGPT, OpenAI, go to OpenAI, then register for ChatGPT. I know that it's been struggling with people trying to register, but the benefit is this. Remember, it's a machine learning model. You can communicate with ChatGPT. I'll just talk about ChatGPT for the benefit of some of you. For example, let me tell you how I've used it to do some assignments. I've used it to do some work. I've used it to do, I use it every day for my coding skill, Let me just tell you the benefit. Now, let's say you have your assignment brief for your coursework, your reports. Then your assignment brief determines what you need to do and all, maybe 1,005 words and all. Then remember, one thing I said is that the first step in handling your coursework is to understand properly what you are asked to do in your assignment brief. Get a proper communication from it. Let it sink into your, if there's that word that we used to use back then in Nigeria, medulla oblongata. Let it sink down into your brain. Then if you have the proper understanding of what you're supposed to do, then just go to open up ChatGPT. I'm talking of leveraging technology now. Go to ChatGPT. Say, ChatGPT, give me, no, just tell ChatGPT, you can pass information to it actually. I am asked to write a report on how to lose weight. I mean, let's assume that's what the report you're asked to write on. Then I'm asked to produce 1,500 works. Then these are what I'm asked to do. I'm asked also that in the process of discussing, I should be able to critically analyze how to probably the different methods people have engaged in losing weight. These are points, right? That you brought out from understanding the assignment brief properly. Now, once you pass that information to ChatGPT, he notes it. Then you now ask him the question, give me a template for this report. ChatGPT will give you a template of how to go about the introduction, how to go about the if it's a report, if it's a review, it will tell you how to go about your abstract. You just put everything down from the beginning to the end to your conclusion. It will give you a template. It's not going far. Now, you know what you do with those templates? Tell ChatGPT, thank you. You can appreciate the system. Just thank you for this template. Now, you talked about the introduction. Give me tips on how to introduce such topic. ChatGPT will give you wonderful tips. Because you are the expert, and in order to avoid plagiarism, because most of all these things are the plagiarism content is high, in order to avoid plagiarism, what you just ask for from ChatGPT's tips. The tips he will give you, use this, don't use this, try to make sure you do this, try to make sure you do that. It will itemize them to you and tell you how to conclude. Now, you now pick that idea. That idea now forms the basis of your writing. Then you can also, once you finish your introduction, tell ChatGPT, in my literature review, give me state-of-the-art researches that have authors, articles, journals, books that have talked about this topic. It will give you a different one with dates. It will give you a reference list. Then pick from that reference list in maybe Blessing and Jimo et al. 2023. They talked about this. Give me a summary of that paper. ChatGPT will give you a summary of that paper. I'm telling you what I practically used. I'm not telling you what I read. Then it will give you a summary of that paper. Now you see how it benefits you, a student. So that somebody knows I'm perpetrating something that is lazy. This is how it benefits you. If you were going to spend 10 hours doing all this process, with this idea from ChatGPT, you have reduced it to at least 1 hour. You don't copy those things and put it in your work. No, it just gives you an idea, the tips, what to do straight away. That's how it enhances your effectiveness. So on that, that's for those of you that are not doing coding. Then for those of you that are doing coding, you have your MATLAB code, you have your Python code, you have whatever languages you are using. Just put in ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT to optimize it for you. It will perfect it for you. If you have any error in your code, copy the error, put it in ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT to correct this error or explain to you why this error occurred. It will explain to you and give you an updated, corrected version of that script. And since they don't check for plagiarism in quotes in coding, you don't bother about plagiarism. I hope I'm able to communicate effectively.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Can I ask a question, please? Are you talk more on reflective writing? Because
What
I
did you
can
call
see
it?
it's only the reflective writing. Reflective writing.
Reflective writing.
Yes.
Reflective writing. I'm trying to. I don't want to assume it. Is it? Can you just give me an intro?
We have critical writing. We have the critical writing.
Oh,
there's another one, reflective writing too. That maybe when you give some coursework, a group coursework, so you have to write it on the reflective out. your own report out of the group,
it's
not a group work. When you have a group work that you are going to submit, but you have to write your own reflective.
okay. I think that boils down to the feed you have. For example, if we all work together, teamwork, then we're asked to individually submit something. Then that has to go to reports. You follow the report format. Then you follow your templates. Then that will now take me to what we call academic writing. It must be formal. You can't use isn't. It has to be is not. Then you can't use maybe I think I is it that I forgot to include the aspect academic writing. For example, you can use it must have to be thoroughly formal. You can use I did this thing. No, we did. Then you can use how do I call it? For example, if you are describing your method, just to chip in now for dissertation, for those of you that will be doing dissertation, let me put that academic writing for dissertation just quickly. If you are describing your method, that's only when you use past tense. For example, myself and Blessing and my supervisor, when as you're trying to make a report of it, what you did and all, you can use was this. The data we use was collected from Sheffield Hallam database. I thought whatever it is, the link that is there. Now, where am I going to? You can use that word past tense only in your methodology. Every other aspect of your writing is continuous. For example, instead of using was, you do is. Maybe we collected date, my date, you are referring to data now, it's not your methodology you are describing. I collected this data is analyzed, if you get what I'm saying. You know, in past tense, you can say was analyzed. But then you are not talking in your methodology. You are not explaining to me, maybe you are describing what was done, literature review. The data or the research is focused on, not was focused on. I don't know what you call that. Is it continuous tense or whatever you call it? But what I'm trying to say is that it is only in your methodology that you use the word past tense, because that's where you describe what was done in the past. Every other one is in the continuous tense or future tense, what you call that. But what I'm trying to say is, instead of saying something was done, is done. That's the term you use in that report if you have to do that type of writing. Then when you say reflective, if I understand what you mean we did work together. Don't I have to be able to say how I say it, what I did, what we did, sorry, then what my contribution was. That on its own is what we could classify as reports, which we have technical report and all. You don't actually need to do critical writing there, because you are not making comparison. You are only just telling your supervisor or your instructor or whoever is assessing you, this is what was done. And in that case, because maybe you performed an experiment or you did a lot of they were all methodological based, you can use past tense. They were all methodological based, you can use past tense. In that case, okay, we got the data from this, we analyzed the data was simulated, the data was turned into this, was preprocessed, we did this data, we modeled the data, and we got this thing. You are describing the process, it can be past tense. So when you say reflective, I think then what you did in that steps will come in, which also will be in past tense. You don't need to critically analyze because you are not making any comparison. You are just reporting what was done. So I don't know if I answered your question, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Is there any other question? Any other question from anybody? Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Before we go, I'll just sure some things that might still be helpful. But before then,
Yeah.
thank you so much, sir. We have learned a
You're
lot. I'm
welcome.
very sure everybody have learned one or two things, especially I think for me, it's especially the apps. I know about some, and I think I've learned a few more from this meeting. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
It's
You're
not over
welcome.
yet. If you still have any question, he's still here to answer your question. But
Yeah.
we'll just quickly move ahead. So, please, can you help me stop sharing so I can share my screen?
Okay, please.
Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Okay, so quickly, I'm just going to show you guys some things that might be helpful to you. So if you go to my Hallam, SHU my Hallam, and you go to IT library services, for those of us that are having issues with some, like you're trying to get some documents, or you're trying to get journals and some things that are related to your field, you can actually use the library online part to do that. So you can see library online using the library reading list. On the library online, if you click on library online, you see that you have different things here, but where I'm going to is the subject guide. So when you get to subject guides, any department you are or any faculty you are, you can always use resources from the library to get some journals, some like if you're in business, I'm in business, so I'll be talking more about business. If you're in business, you can get your statistical data for free. Like you know that sometimes you want to download statistical like the data, but you can't really access like the full data, you need to pay for it. You can use your library gateway and access it for free. So for me, I'm in business. If I come to business and management, it opens up this page. Now you can see subject resources, books, ebooks, journal articles, company information, market research, news and media, economic and financial data, research method, case studies, statistics, websites, countries, Facebook form. There are a lot of things here that you can use that can help you in your journal articles, in your coursework and assignments. If you're looking for journal articles, you're looking for up-to-date information, you can always find them from here. Let's say you click on statistics, for example. You can see that you can use Statista, UK Data Service, UK Office for National Statistics, and so many other things that ordinarily you might need to pay for them. But if you go through the library gateway and through your student ID, you can actually access those things for free. And using some of these things, your referencing is easier because some of like Statista gives you, and or like if you're accessing it through school, it gives you like a reference format or there that you can just copy and put on your bibliography. You don't need to start writing or looking for which best format to use in referencing what you picked up from Statista. Then if you're looking for how to do your referencing, for example, you are stuck somewhere and you don't know how to reference, you can always come back to the library gateway and click on referencing. And you can see I'm new to referencing. I need to reference something in APA. I need to use another referencing style. All these supports are here for you to always come back to. If you click on them to show you how to reference formats, examples, citations, and so many other things that you can use the library gateway for. Then quickly, for those that have not seen the ChatGDP before now, this is ChatGDP. So like you were saying, let's say outline. Okay, so let's say ways to lose weight, and you just send. So it loads and it just gives you like basic information that you can use, so you can see the most effective ways to, you can see what it's saying. So these are some of the things that can actually like aid your ideas on what you can write on. ChatGPT is really good. Like it's one of the best tools that you can use in recent times. Then another one is Write Sonic. So Write Sonic is also an AI tool that is just like ChatGPT. So you can chat like that ChatGPT, just like the one that we have here, or you can use the article writer that gives you for the free part. I think you have up to 10,000 words. You can use the AI article writer. So if you use this article writer on your own time, you can go back to it. It's Write Sonic. You can see it here. For the article writer, you can use it to write like a proper article. So let's say you own a blog or you want to write an article on something. You can always come back here, or you need idea on how to write on something. You can use this article writer to just build your format. It gives you like a proper format on how you can actually structure your work. And you can use that structure to build your own format on how you want to do your coursework or assignments. Don't forget that, don't copy and paste. Nobody's saying that you should go and be copying and pasting, because Turnitin will always catch you. So just try as much as you can to use these tools to generate ideas. It has so much. You can use blog titles, paragraph writing, even in your day-to-day affairs. If you own a business, Facebook ad, LinkedIn ads, so many other things, general writing, and so many things that you can use ChatSonic for. So these are like a few of like AI tools that are on board right now. There are so many other AI tools that are on board. You can always check on Google and ask, oh, what is the AI tool that I can use for this? There's always a new AI tool coming up, like every day. They're always bringing out a new AI tool. So this thing is just try as much as you can to make use of recent technology. Then to extend further on that question on reflective writing, for me personally, I think I particularly love reflective writing compared to academic writing, because it gives you the opportunity to like express yourself, like you are talking about your own personal experience. So there are so many ways to do reflective writing. If you are doing your course, they must have given you like so many reflective writing models. Let's put it that way. Reflective writing. So Gibbs reflective cycle is one of them. I particularly love using the Gibbs reflective cycle because it's easier to understand. So just like it says on the screen, describe what happened. Oh, I was in class, or we started a group. We were supposed to assist this company to improve their sales, and we were asked to do a research in a group. We were 4 members of the group. 3 were active and 3 were not active, which actually gave us a problem with doing our research. The non-active person was supposed to do this part, and not show up. Now, how did you feel about it? Oh, I felt really discouraged. I felt I couldn't do it. I was afraid of even trying the talking about the company or doing my research because I didn't know where to start from. Oh, evaluate it. Was your experience good or bad? It was a bad experience at first, but it eventually became good. Analyze it. What else can you make of the situation? Oh, at that particular time, this was what I was thinking. This is what I was thinking. Conclusion: what could have been done? So you cannot say, oh, as I mean, I knew earlier, I would have started this on time. I would have done this to make it different. So action plan. If it throws again, what will you do next? Now, this is talking about your development. What are you going to do next time that will make that project better? And what are some of the skills that you've learned from that process? So reflective cycle is more like a personal thing. You don't really need to have so many citations. You might have like 1 or 2 citations in it, but you don't really need so much citations in your reflective writing. You just need to actually express, like follow the circle. Whatever reflective style you're using, just follow the reflective style format to actually talk about what you want to write on. So it's actually like the easiest writing formats you can do compared to academic, because it's personal. We're talking about your personal experience. I'm not going to start looking at somebody's analysis from somewhere like, oh, this person said this is what I'm thinking and the rest. So reflective like is the easiest that you can actually use. So that's my short presentation. I hope you guys have learned something. And if you have any questions so far, or you have any contributions that you want to add, maybe you know something that we don't know, we are all here to learn. I'm open to learn at any time. So if you have any contributions, are you currently writing a dissertation and there's something that you're actually using that is making it easy for you, please share with us, because we also want to learn. If there's any question or contributions, please quickly, before we round up the meeting, and share.
Can I just wanted to add something. I think that I raised my hand.
Okay, yeah. I didn't see that.
You talked about when we're talking about the data. I just saw something I needed to talk about. I saw that UK Office for National Statistics. That the database there is powerful. If you ever have issue with data, just go to that website. the Office of National Statistics. They have data about everything in this. In short, let me put it now in this UK. Up to the extent they have data of the roads that pass through every corner, even those in your house. They have data about everything. So if you're having issues with getting data, because the strength of any research is data. If you're having issue by getting data, that is a one-stop shop, I must say. Then if you are in the sciences or engineering or technological aspect, if you're having issues with getting data, go to cargo.com, KAGGLE.com. Cargo.com is a very powerful place to get data. Then if you are having also issue with getting data, if you're in the sciences, check Stack Overflow. Those especially if you are doing anything that has to do with data sciences or data modeling, energy data and all that. These two websites that I just talked about are very powerful source that you will virtually get any type of data you're looking for. Then if you are dealing with data, my advice is that please learn a programming skill. It is very important. Programming skill, whether you're learning MATLAB or you're learning Python, you are learning Arrow, whatever it is you are doing in that, if you're in science or technology inclined, that is very, very key, because it will help you to analyze and process that data faster. And then as you are learning it or using it, ChatGPT is also another important one to take advantage of. Then if you are not in that sciences or technological field, SPSS, which I think every one of you should have. I didn't talk about that. The SPSS, every one of you should, those of you that are not in the sciences or technological field, SPSS, because definitely you're going to be analyzing your data, you're going to be performing some tests and all, which I believe your library or so, or your software database from your school, you should have where you can download that to your system. Download it to your system. You will need it by the time you get your data, because there is no research without data. Take that. There's no research without data. By the time you get your data, you're going to do the analysis. So if you are not doing those analysis with Python, with MATLAB, with Arrow, or whatever science-based software, if you are doing with SPSS, get the SPSS software, then learn how to use it. Learn how to use it, and you will need that skill. That is very, very key, and that could slow down your time. Imagine somebody that doesn't know how to program, know any language, maybe Arrow, Python, or MATLAB, and you are in data analysis, or you're in all those data related courses or big data department, and all, you will find it very difficult. I've had a lot of students approach me on that, and when you tell them, you can't tell them to start learning, because they have, remember, your study is time bound. The objective you have in whatever work you're doing is time bound. So you can't spend months and months and months trying to learn it immediately. No. But then, even if that's where you have to leverage technology. I like what somebody said. They said, just ask Google the latest AI tools. AI is doing wonders. Every day we see new things. We're talking about ChatGPT. Before you know what's happening, Google have released their own bad. And we've in the process, Elon Musk and his team are developing something that will counter this too. So the world is fast growing. If you don't go pick up with the pace, you may lose out. That is why you see us emphasizing using this technology. And the benefit for us is that, like I was trying to make the point with ChatGPT, it will enhance your productivity. It will make it faster. And trust me, because the world is going that way, so many people are already losing their job. The last time I saw Facebook Meta is trying to lay off so many staff. Why? Because they discovered that those work that these stars used to do, they can connect it to ChatGPT and all those powerful language model to do for them. So if I have a machine doing the work, then there's no need hiring you. So, but the advantage for us that are students is that these apps, this application, they're going to put it out there. They are not going to use it. It's not Ghost that will use it. They want us to use it. The worst is that they'll put a premium that if you want to use it at a higher level, you pay some amount. But we are not, you may not really pay. Just use the one at the surface, like ChatGPT 3 that all of us that is free, everybody's using. Use it, take advantage of it, leverage the technology and use it to enhance your productivity. And before you know what's happening, you'll produce wonderful research within your time that you have.
Okay, so thank you. Someone is asking for the spelling of the data science base that you talked about.
Oh, Stack Overflow, Stack, S-T-A-C-K, Overflow, all together, Stack Overflow. When you Google Stack Overflow, you have to register with them. That's one. In Stack Overflow, you will have, is a community of people. Yeah, that's correct. Uyeri, yeah, AJ, that's correct. Yeah. Then the other one is Kaggle, 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 Kaggle. Kaggle.com. Kaggle, you will virtually get any data you're looking for in this world in Kaggle.
Yeah.
But what makes the office of, yeah, Kaggle.com, that's correct. AJ seems to be in that feed. Then what makes the Office of National Statistics, oh yeah, not okay. What makes the Office of National Statistics beautiful, that database beautiful? Recently, I was looking for some powerful, I was looking for the database of the wind installation in the whole UK. You know, when it comes to wind energy, UK is one of the big players in the world. I was looking for that information. That's where I got to know that virtually, in short, the air, let me say the air quality in your area, these people take the data every time and they have a stock of it. They release it, not all, most times the frequency may be different, maybe monthly, some quarterly and all, but there is no database of anything you want that they don't have. Up to the extent is that, imagine how you could leverage technology. Let me just discuss this for the benefit of whoever is listening. If you have the ability to code, you can get everything. Have you heard of API? Application Programming Interface. You should have heard of API. You should, if you have not heard of API, anytime you go to a website, go down of it, you will see where they put API. There is no website, there's no database that does not have share information. That's where you have fintech company coming in. For example, a bank is there, a fintech company is there. The fintech is using the data it's sharing with the bank to produce products that you use. What they are using is API. Now, this API technology is such that any link that is online has is mandated for them. You must link with every other organization that need that services. They call it third-party providers. Now, that will allow you access anything you want in this world. All you just need to do is to get the API key and get your password, the username and password. So if you know how to code, MATLAB, Python, whatever it is, every or such application have where you can use the API key and the API username, then use the coded language scripts to crawl the data from there. So that leaves you that there is no data you cannot get. For example, I was able to use what we call OpenStreetMap. You should have had OpenStreetMap before. Some of you would have heard about that, just like you have Google Map and all. Do you know that this Google Map has, in short, is virtually looking at the whole world, right? The implication of that is that there is no information you cannot get anywhere in the world. All you just need is an API key and a coding language, a coding script to use that API key because they want to know who is accessing what. Then with that access, with your script, you can script to know everything at anywhere you have never been to. Where am I driving to? With AI technology and all programming skills, I was able to get, when I was looking for this data, I was able to use OpenStreetMap to get the locations of all the wind turbines that are sited in the whole UK, both onshore and offshore. What did I do? I just registered to use OpenStreetMap. Then with some Python scripts, I'm good at coding, Python, MATLAB, whatever R, whatever language. With some coding scripts, I was able to use this API key and my username to access the OpenStreetMap. Then OpenStreetMap will crawl anything where they wrote wind or energy or power or turbine, anything that related. You just create a keyword related to what you are looking for. Then give it to the script. The script will crawl it anywhere that document has been documented, anywhere that the facility has been documented in the entire space within the boundary. You use latitude and longitude to band the boundary of UK. Maybe you are looking at for UK. Then it will crawl it. It will take time. It will take computing resources. It will give you the information back. In the end, you just analyze that data and find exactly what you are looking for. So this is how this world has gone to. There is nothing hidden anywhere. All you just need is a programming skill. This is talking about some skill you will need for your research. You will need that programming skill. You will need some, if you are in the sciences, you will need Python, you will need MATLAB, you will need R. You may be thinking it's late. It's actually not late. That is why I say leverage ChatGPT. ChatGPT can give you, all you just need to understand what you want. That's one skill you will learn. For example, I want a script that will help me download a data from Cargo. That's what you want. You have understood what you want. Put it into writing. ChatGPT, give me a Python script or a MATLAB script or R script, whatever language you're using, that will help me crawl a data. This data is related to maybe how to lose weight. I want you to crawl it from Cargo or from the Office of National Statistics. It will give you a Python script that will crawl that. Put it in the system you are using for your programming. You will see an output. That is how much you can use technology these days. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Does anybody have any other question? Any other questions? All right, AJ, you can go ahead. AJ, you can go ahead. If you can hear us, we cannot hear you, AJ. Can you just put your question on the chat? I think your mic, yeah, maybe it's your network or something. Just put your question on the chat. No, we can't hear you, AJ. Okay, AJ, just put your question on the chat while we wait for you to do that. You can put your question on the chat, AJ. Thanks. Okay, so I don't know if any other person has any question before we wait for AJ. Okay, let's just wait for AJ. All right. While we wait for AJ, okay, what is the UK Office for Statistics about?
Is where you can get your any type of data. That's actually what got me into we're discussing where you can get data in case you are battling with where to get data from. That is one good place to get data, any type of data, any year. These guys are very good with data collection and data storage and keeping. You can use a lot of API connection to script data from there and get any type of data you want for your analysis.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, we can now hear you.
Oh, okay. I was just trying if you could hear me.
Okay.
So I want to use this opportunity to appreciate the organizers of this program and our speakers. It's a very educative section. There's so many things I've not heard before. I'm hearing now. It really helped me in my academic journey. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. And thanks to everyone that attended. Those that could not finish with us, I think I'll make the recording available in the shortest time possible so we can listen to it before it expires. So if I send the link, please try and listen to it. You know that I'm a student and school resources are limited. It will not be available for too long. So you have to try and listen to the recording to get all the apps and what he talked about that you didn't get when the meeting was ongoing, or if you joined in late. So try and listen to it on time before the recording expires. Thank you guys so much. Mr. Rashid, I don't know if if your network is okay now. Can you try and speak? Mr. Jimo Rashid. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so
Can you hear
before
me?
yeah, we can hear you. So before we go, finally, I know all of us know Mr. Rashid Jimo is our Equality and Diversity Officer, and he is a January 2022 intake. Yeah, this is 2023, and he's currently writing his dissertation. So he will just share his experience with us for those that are looking forward to starting our own. I know that many of us have heard a lot of stories, and some of us are actually scared, like how we're going to start and all of those. So he'll just give us his own experience so far, how he has gone. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Rashid, currently studying MSc Accounting and Finance. For us that were in Accounting and Finance, first thing we were asked to present our proposal, that is like maybe 3,000 words, and within a very short period of time, some of us face challenges based on how to select our topics. We find it very difficult because for me, selecting my topic, I have area of interest like maybe fraud investigation, what's it called? Fraud investigation, forensic accounting. That's what interests me. And also, when I engaged the module leader about my area of interest, one of the things that he told me was getting my data, because I'll basically be using primary source and I want to focus on UK. So that's the challenge I faced then. So I have to switch my topic to another area, whereby within that period of time, I try to present my proposal on it. So, and one thing they told us that your proposal is not really, they just want you to say how you want to do the real dissertation. But for me, proposal is just I see it as also as something that I will leverage on, because my topic is what I'm still continuing, even though I picked that topic at a very, very minimum time. That was when my question comes in about the data, because you see someone will tell you that 5 years data is obsolete, that you can't review things. But when I started, because during my proposal, because the proposal of a thing is very, very, that's one of the challenges. I'm expecting to see more students on this call. It's quite unfortunate that we are just rounding about 2021 in a society of 100 and something. And these are things that is important to us. But dissertation is like 60 credit units. It's a whole semester, like 4 modules, 15 times 4. So the presenting my proposal, I have challenge there in selecting my topics, though I overcome it with some of I have mentor, I have people, because I'm Aspire scholar. So I have some of my lecturer that are on Aspire program that I speak to. So they were able to give me how to go about it. But some of us, some of my colleagues were not privileged to have this kind of opportunity. So I'm still on I got my feedback from my chapter and literature review yesterday, and it was very okay. The feedback is okay. Your supervisor will also want to ship in something. You need to remove this. Why can't you do this? Why can't you do this? So, but I'm still concerned about the recent material, as you have said that 5 years, though my supervisor have not make record to that, though he even gave me some of the articles, some articles like that. So the article is also like 2020, 2019, 2018 articles. So it's just that because I read somewhere that also the recent matters about anything that you are doing when it comes to dissertation. So we are looking for gap, as you have said that the presenter have rightly said that there's no new things anywhere. We are just trying to build, then you identify the gaps, then you want to have identified gaps in some of the literature that I'm reviewing, then is that gap that I'm working on. So what's my concern now? Even though I got a good feedback from my literature review, I still want to look at how I can get more data, more literature that is recent in terms of what I'm writing. So for some of us that are on Discord that are still trying to select a topic, so please try to select a topic that interests you, and you have to read why. As our doctor here have said it, you have to read very wide. So and for me, I'm still on it. I don't know why the president just put me on the spot so that I can share my experience. So I'm still on my dissertation. So chapter 3 is still ongoing. It's a very good experience.
We use it to have hope. We have not started. We use it to have hope.
So it's a very good experience. It's just that the timing, the dissertation, maybe, I don't know. We will write our proposal if they can allow us to just write and present, and also present our findings. To writing, sometimes it takes 13,000 to 15,000 words. If you want to write a quality paper, it's the timing is not really there. For some of us that were January intake, it's still okay. Why the September intake is what I'm considering, because they are yet to start. They are even the proposal. Some of them are still back on how to get the topic, and majority of them are not even on this call. It's quite unfortunate. So we'll continue putting up this kind of program. We pray that God grants our doctor here, if we call you again, so that you can at least support us with your time. May God continue to assist you and protect you and give you good health to do this kind of, it's not everybody that can do this, actually. It's not everybody. This is more than money. If you distribute 100 pounds to us, it's not what you have given us tonight. So we appreciate that, and we thank you for this opportunity that you have given to everyone of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rashid. God bless you for that sharing your experience. Okay, so I think this is the last question we take, so we can round up and have a group photo. Okay, so someone asked, so Lady asked, how can I research on a topic or tips to know if it has enough information to work on, or it depends on the topic? Also, how will someone know what type of data to use on a particular topic he or she chooses to work on?
Maybe I'll answer this. I'm sure this person have not, Olaide, I'm sure Olaide is probably expressing some fear, but don't worry. We said it, Rashid said it just now, read wide. Read wide. When you start reading, you will start building knowledge in that research. Remember, you are in a feed. Nobody they didn't force that feed on you. Even if they forced it on you, you accepted it. So that feed, you have narrowed your interest. When you did your undergraduate, wherever you did it, it was very broad. But when in master's level, you have narrowed your interest. In PhD, you narrow it further. That's what happens. Now you have narrowed your interest. Maybe you are dealing with education. You are dealing with pedagogy? I can't remember. There's a word they use in that education aspect that interests me. Anyway, but where I'm going to is that whatever the topic you are, just keep building, get Mendeley. Like I said, have a database. You can download up to 1,000. There's no limits to how far you can download. I'm sure when you're doing bulk, in my school, it's possible to do bulk download. You can download every day up to 250 articles. So imagine now, which simply means that in any work, your dissertation, you can get up to 1,000 articles if you have the time to read, if you are good at it. But where I'm going to is that just download them, put them in Mendeley, so that as you are reading, you can easily take notes. Then as you are getting notes, you are building enough information. And that information will help you understand the topic broader. It will help you identify the gap. It will help you know where to focus on, which is where your novelty comes. Because somebody talked about obsolete and this and that. But what your supervisor really wants is to know if your work is contributing to knowledge. I know they don't stretch it so much in master's level, but novelty is key. It will make your work original and different. Then when you have gathered enough enough information in that topic, you have a broad knowledge of what is happening in that field. You are now like a master in that field. Then in that case, you now know the type of data to use. You said here, how also will someone know what type of data on a particular topic he or she chooses to work on? For example, if I'm dealing with, I just talked about wind, I was trying to get installation of wind energy in the UK, because I was dealing with, I told you earlier that I deal with renewable energy system modeling. I was modeling the wind power forecasting in the entire world. And I needed to get that for UK because I was using UK as a case study. Then, given that I'm dealing with wind and have broad knowledge about what wind energy is, that simply tells me that what I want is data on wind speed, wind power, and everything that has to do with wind. So if whichever field you are in, as you keep reading broadly, you have knowledge of what is happening there, you will then know what data you will need to analyze to be able to carry out what we call research and have results for presentation.
Okay, so thank you.
Blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, quick one. Sir, I don't know, because as I progress on my dissertation, I'm also worried about, we are yet to turn it in, because the work that we normally do, we turn it into. So I believe at the end of the write-up, we have to turn it in. Because I know this is like 15,000 words or 13,000 thereabout. So what's the similarity percentage level that one can actually bank on?
I think is a function. Ask your instructor. It differs from different school. I can't really tell you what it is, but I know in my schools, anything more than 20% or so. But it's relative. For example, if you are submitting with your reference, remember it should be higher. They use that to judge too. For example, if I'm submitting with my reference, remember that reference has been submitted several times. So anytime you put anything with reference, expect it to be high. But to be fair, when you are making submission to Trinity, mostly I used to tell people, depending on what your supervisor advised you, just remove your reference and the appendix. If you are dealing with software code, you put your appendix in your software code. You put them in the appendix, because that software code is generic, is general, is worldwide. It has been submitted several times in different database. If you put it to submit, your similarity score will be high. So what I advise, if your supervisor allows you, before you turn it in, just remove your reference and your appendix. Then to help you to have idea of what you have done in terms of properly paraphrasing, in terms of using quotation, that you don't have plagiarism and all. But then if it allows you to submit with reference and the appendix, there is a benchmark to that too. The threshold, every school decides. Not just every school, every department, I think. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
and
sir.
I think, Jimo, you can also try if you, I know Scribble is not free. Scribble is not free, but you can also try, if you can register for Scribble. Maybe you and your friends can like put in money together, register for Scribble, so you guys can be using it together. Because Scribble is the most similar to Turnitin, I think, compared to Grammarly. It is more accurate. Scribble is more accurate compared to Grammarly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Scribble is more accurate compared to Grammarly. Okay, guys. So I just discovered that this medley that's Engineer Edgar has been talking about is actually free for Sheffield Hallam students. So I just created an account right now. So if you click on the link I sent on the chat, just log in through your institution. It will take you to a page where you can log in with your student ID. Select Sheffield Hallam University, log into your student ID and your password, your school password, and you can create an account. And that's it. So it's free for Hallam students. All right.
Yeah, it should be free. It's free in University of Sheffield too.
Yeah. And there are some, that's why I said go to the library, use the library gateway most times when you're trying to get journal articles, because there are some articles you're trying to download. When I was really like, I'm no longer, I'm on placement, so I don't really do coursework anymore. But when I was really doing coursework, if you go through library gateway, there are some websites that you want to like download journal articles from to tell you that it's not free for non-members. But if you go
Yes.
to, there are some of them that are actually free, so you can actually create a tab, like a window for your if you're using Chrome, you can use like a Chrome for your school, just log in your school website only, so that and save your password. So immediately you want to log into anything, it will automatically detect that
It
it's
must
your
be
school
updated, yeah.
and your password. So you don't need to start like logging in every time you want to use
Yeah.
this software. I know Science Direct is free. There are so many others. I've forgotten the others, but there are so many others that are free for Hallam students that you can actually use to get journal articles and the rest. And you don't need to like start paying or waiting for someone to approve for you to download it. And you can
I
subscribe to
think
get journal articles that the person writes anytime they do.
the truth is that you don't actually need to pay. Don't pay money to buy any article. You just get to your. If you don't know what to how to get it really, but to be realistic, go to your library. They will be gladly. They are gladly available to help you. They will assist you on how and teach you how to do it. But if you can take your time, go to your portal, you should be able to get where probably a video that will help you on how to search the library. There is virtually anything. There's nothing you're looking for you won't get there. The most recent. Remember, is a subscription. What they do is that they subscribe to these papers. Whenever these papers are released, because they have a subscription, institutional subscription, they will definitely send it to the school's database. So if they release paper today, your school, if your school has subscription to it, they will have it. So anybody that tells you you have not gotten recent paper in your feed is not true. It's there. You just have not discovered it.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. I guess nobody has any other question. And thank you so much, sir, once again for sharing this time with us. It's been like 2 hours, 30 minutes thereabouts. Thank you so much for sharing this time with us. And we hope that when we call on you again, as Nigerian society, because I might not be there anymore and my team might not be there anymore. But when the
Yeah.
society calls on you in future, we'll always have you on board. Thank you so much. And a big thank you to
Thank you so
everyone
much.
that attended this meeting. So I appreciate everyone that attended this meeting and those that left because of one thing or the other. Those my ESCOs that attended this meeting, Nigerian Society ESCOs, Brimo, our PRO, Jimo, our EDO, Jimo, sorry, Ahmed Taiwo, our secretary. I think the VP is also in the house. Yeah, you're under the guest list. Mr. Felix is also in the house, under the guest list. Thank you so much. I think Fonta was on the call, but he left, our event officer. Thank you guys so much for attending. And thanks to everyone that came out today once again. If you're not on the call earlier, thanks to everyone that came out today for our SHU Fest. If you missed it, go and watch the live video on our Instagram page, SHU_Nigerian Society. And our upcoming events, please guys, don't forget, we have on the 30th, we have 31st, I mean to say, we have the Sheffield Community Litter Pickup. We'll be meeting in school by 11 a.m. So if you are going to join the litter picking, we advise, we're not saying that it's compulsory, but so that we can look more colorful and we can look distinct from the rest, try to order your hoodie or your t-shirt. Please try as much as you can to order it like during this weekend so you can get it on time next week. So try to order between now till Sunday so that we can process it and school can place an order for us to get it before Friday. And also we have the football match that is coming up with University of Sheffield at Collegiate Campus on the 1st of April by 9:30 a.m. So if you're interested in playing football, it's a six-a-side football game each. So we have like two teams, six aside one, team A, six aside team 8. So we need about, that's 24, sorry, 6 players each team. That's 12 with other extra. I don't know how many extras they have. But please reach out to Ahmed Taiwo, the secretary, if you're interested in playing in that football match, 9:30 a.m. on the 1st of April. And finally, before the Easter, there's another event that will be talking more about getting a job in the UK. We are going to have an HRO an HR manager with us on the 4th of April, same time, 6 p.m. online. We'll start posting the flyers really soon. So watch out for the events. And please, if you've not registered for this event on SHU website, I'm begging, please, so that we can have these numbers, try to just click on the link that I shared on the WhatsApp group. Just add these events to your basket and check out. That is it. You're not paying for anything. Just add it to your basket and check out so we can have the statistics of people that attended aside from the attendance that we get here. Thank you guys so much and have a good evening and a lovely weekend ahead. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
Sorry, before we leave, can we have a group? Can we have a group photo? Everybody has forgotten. Thank you. Please, can you turn on your cameras? Please, if you have the full desktop, I don't have my screen is not allowing me to do that all together. Something view the large gallery. I can't see the large gallery on my own. Please, if you have the large gallery that carries everybody's picture all together, please can you help me take a picture? I'll just do this one that I can see.
Large gallery.
Yeah, if you go to view on top of your screen, view.
Brimo.
I think my system does not allow me to do the large gallery on.
I can see it. I can see it. I always
update
have few people on. Ijoba.
System.
For those people that don't want
Alpha.
to come and on, that don't want to turn on your camera, are you shy or you
I
not
get
doing
to-
it for the girls?
I get to big time.
Joba for event officer. I'm your campaign manager.
Yeah, please, guys, nominate yourself for election. The nomination is currently ongoing.
I'm fine. No.
If you're interested in being the president, vice president, PRO, or secretary, it's currently ongoing. Please nominate yourself. It's ending in a few days. And also, we have
At least for president.
society award that is going to the we have some awards that could be won by the Nigerian society. If you know that we have tried for you, we have sacrificed our time. If you know that we have tried for you, or you
We dey greet your husband for
I'm
back.
begging. Nominate us for these awards. Well, I'm going to put the link on the chat. Please just take your time to fill the form. Nominate us for the award. That's on. It's going to end like next week Thursday, I think they're about. So just write about the things that you've benefited from the society. That's it, and nominate us for the award, and we could luckily be the winners of this award. At least it will be a pride for Nigerian society to actually have an award this year. At least we've tried a lot, even if nobody's saying it. But Joba knows that we've tried. At least.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
So guys, please nominate us. It doesn't take more than 10 minutes to do it. Just write basically what you've learned and about our events that we've hosted so far, how it has benefited you, and how this society has actually benefited you, and that is it. They have been shining it since. I must get it. I just snap it. Please shine it again.
Don't use AI to ask about us.
Yes, please don't use AI. Write from your mind. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.
Iyola for president. Iyola for president.
Are you the campaign manager?
Please, I need the video, the recorded video, please.
Yeah, Chichi.
Because I joined very late.
To you, yeah. I'll try to send you recorded video.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Bye.